Well, good evening, race fans. Welcome back to Super Dirt Week 49 here on Sunday evening, and it's official. We are done. It is over. It is in the books. The Billy Whittaker Cars 200 just wrapping up about a half an hour ago. My name is Mike Mallett. Joining me here, Adam Buchanan. We'll have the drivers here in a moment for this post-race press conference, but what a day of racing here. You know, we started off this morning about 11:15 with the Pro Stock event. Then we had the
Chevy Performance
75 for the sportsman. I was getting there, Adam. I was getting there. I'm still catching my breath from walking up the hill. I'm a fat guy. I'm not supposed to walk that far.
That's right.
And then, of course, we just concluded the Billy Whittaker Cars 200. So we'll have the drivers are here. We're waiting on Matt Williamson to get here. Then we'll get going with our question and answer session for the drivers. But recapping what happened here, we'll give you the Pro Stocks first. Chad Gessio in victory lane, getting the win. Jason Casey, Rob Yetman, Mike White, Scott Towsley, Mike Hurst continued. Luke Horning had a very, very unfortunate day in that event. Then we come back to the Chevy Performance 75. That was next up on the docket. Zach Zabotka from 19th to 1st, getting the job done. Matt Janzik, Brian Calabrese, Justin Stone, and Alex Payne were the top 5 in that event. And now the event everybody wants to know about, everybody's been talking about here all week long, picking up the victory in our Billy Whittaker Cars 200 was Matt Williamson. Second was Billy Decker. And third, Matt Sheppard, Stuart Friesen, Larry White rounded out the top 5. So Adam, basically what we expected today. We knew the track was going to be a challenging for the drivers, and that's exactly what we saw.
Track was most definitely a factor. It was good early, and then it wasn't. Then it became a challenge for everybody, and the bottom seemed to be a ruts and guts type of situation. If you were forced to go down there to try to make a move, you went down there, and you lived and you died by there.
Yep.
And we saw later in the race a big implication going for the lead, and it eventually cost 2 drivers a shot at the 200.
Yeah, we'll recap everything and give you the full rundown, full details of what transpired throughout the race, of course, here once we have a chance to chat with our drivers. Again, any media members that would like to come on in, we do have a microphone, so you can ask some questions as well. So that mic will be open for questions from media members here tonight as well. So we'll have that going here in just a moment. Again, great day. You know, all in all, I mean, the weather was perfect today. I think this is the nicest day we've had of the entire week here.
It's been the driest
of Super Dirt Week, and it was dry. And the track was dry, obviously, and you know, unfortunately, you know, you watch that event and you realize that, you know, this is what the track normally would have started as, you know, a couple weeks ago, had the weather been fine, and then it had the chance to cure the right way. And unfortunately, we didn't do that. So, you know, the drivers were faced with a challenging racetrack, as expected.
I think that's what, you know, it finally dried out, which is what we've been waiting all week for it to do, is to dry out. And then you saw a product of that where it dried out, but you needed about a good 10 to 15 laps of green flag action to kind of blow it over, to kind of
once we got started at the beginning of the race, everything kind of worked out fine. It just, again, it took about 5-8 laps, like you said, to kind of get blown off, and then it started to slick off. And it was the slick that we've seen here at Oswego, you know, in 2019, 18, and 17.
When it's been real good.
When it's been good. So steps are made, the process was made, the head in the right direction, but obviously, you know, we didn't have everything perfect. But again, still an exciting race, still a hard-fought race for the drivers up front. Again, we saw the different strategies we expected. You know, we'll talk to Matt Sheppard here in a moment. Matt, he pitted real early in the race.
He double pitted early.
Yeah, double pitted early. You know, Billy Decker also pitted extremely early. Yep. And then you saw Matt Williamson come in a little bit, about 30 laps after that, and he was able to kind of find his way back to the front. And then luck would have it, you know, the top 2 get into each other. And then Matt Williamson inherits the lead. And from there, he just ran a steady, consistent race and was able to come out on top. For his second consecutive victory here at Oswego, he becomes the first driver to win 2 Billy Whittaker Cars and Trucks 200 here at the Oswego Speedway.
Yeah, and you'll have video of his immediate post-race interview, and Matt Williamson does touch on a lot of things. Early pitting, talked about both Dipple and you know, Britton getting into each other. He had a bird's eye view for that situation, so pretty interesting comments from him, or lack of comments, and it really worked out in his favor. But so did short pitting, and the no strategy really worked out for him. He said if he was a little uncomfortable.
Was that a short slider? He pulled the short pit?
That was not a short slider. No, absolutely not.
No, we're going to get you right now, Billy, if you want. Okay. All right, well, these guys want to get going, so we're going to get going. We're waiting on Matt Williamson, but you guys are here, so we're here with Billy Decker and Matt Sheppard, and we'll start with you, Billy. Second place effort, man. You survived, you held on, and second place, I mean, not much to complain about.
Noon today, if I take a fifth or a second or whatever, I said, yep, I got it, see you later. It's been gone a long time ago, so yeah, happy. You know, it's a true test between the man and machine out there, and finish, you know, under those circumstances, we're going to get away with it.
Talk about your strategy, because you kind of followed what Matt did. You guys pitted real early in that race. Was that a byproduct of thinking that there's going to be a lot of caution, so we know we can make it on fuel? Is that something you learned maybe Middletown or someplace else, or what was the thought behind pitting that early? I know you started deep, you know, and had to make up some ground too.
Well, you know, probably Matt as well. Everybody here, I think we're kind of held hostage when you're in a points battle, which it's not really a battle, but you're in a points race, and you're trying to. You want to finish and give yourself an opportunity to win at the end. So the first thing you got to do is keep the wheels on it. So I think that's the first responsibility, was to not give up too much track position and keep the wheels on it and give yourself an opportunity at the end to make a run at it.
Talk about your battle with Matt there. Prior to that last caution, you guys, Matt was there. He was working you over, and you guys had a great race for that runner-up spot.
Oh, I wish it was no race. My spotter was saying, looking low, you know what I mean? And I don't want to wreck him, and he don't want to wreck me. And you don't know where you're going to land on this stuff, you know, half the time. So just trying to be, you know, respectful and still get a quality finish out of it. So, you know, fortunately, we didn't get together or anything. And, you know, because it's tough, because you try to read them restarts, and then you start up in the middle of the racetrack and you cut down to the low, and then you're wheel hopping around a little bit. Don't know where you're going to land when you hit the front straightaway. So fortunately, I didn't get in his way too bad, and it worked out for us.
Talk about the line as it changed for you, because it looked like early in the race, both of you were kind of running above those holes there on the bottom going in the one. And then all of a sudden, as that hole got wider, you both started driving right through the middle of it and kind of hopping and then getting to the top.
Well, it's funny, you know, because you talk about that, but at that stage, the pavement was only down about 2 or 3 inches, so it made the hole the lesser of the evil. But, you know, when it's soft underneath, the track's going to change all day. The holes are going to move and get bigger, and it gets more and more demanding. I took a good run right there, and I took about a wheelbarrow load of dirt getting into one on that green-white checkered, and tried to make a little bit of a run out of it in 3 here, and I got the right front a little bit low and caught more of that hole than I wanted to catch. I wanted to catch it with the left front and shoot across, and it didn't work out for me, but at that stage we had 1 or 2 on Matt. So at that stage you try to just make sure you get across the finish line second and get away with one.
Matt, talk about that battle there late with Billy. I mean, that was, again, I don't think you wanted to see that yellow, because you really had your momentum going there as that caution came out.
Yeah, you know, I don't know, started being stupid and, you know, got up on the wheel and you know, got going. I thought maybe I had something for Billy there, but I don't know if you know it or not. Maybe that wheelbarrow load, but it actually knocked my arm guard into the cockpit with me on that green-white checkered going into one. And I'm sure you probably see on the video that went flying out and survived the last lap. But I don't know, same as Billy. You know, I think we pitted about the same time early, and I guess my original strategy was to pit as many times as it took early to get my car driving somewhat comfortable. And you know, we made some adjustments, and we were hoping, you know, to kind of go the distance, and I still wasn't real comfortable, so we pitted again, changed another shock, and I still don't think I was really that comfortable. But at that point, it kind of became a track position game, and we made our bed and we had to lay in it at that point. So we just kind of rode it out and tried to keep our nose clean the best we could. I think on that last restart, I pontooned you with my right front. I thought that was going to be the end of that. Coming off a 4, that was a little treacherous down there. But I don't know. All in all, can't say enough about my crew. They went over that car yesterday and tried to dot every I and cross every T. And you know, we tried to be as nice to it as we could for a long time, and then kind of beat it up there the last 20 laps. But all in all, you know, happy with the third. I don't know if anybody really knows how close the car owner and me was to pulling in on lap 1.
Yeah.
I've wrecked enough equipment on tracks like this, and it gets expensive, especially when it comes out of your own pocket. But I guess today it worked in our favor.
How much does points play into that? Leading the point standings. We saw 2 years ago, this race having that bad finish, it cost you a shot, or it cost, you had a good lead in the points and then gave it all back here. How much did that factor into your decision today? Like, we got to go.
Well, I actually felt confident enough in my points lead that I still probably would have pulled in today, honestly. But but I guess now maybe the first time in a long time that I've gone into Charlotte without really too many worries. So that'll be nice. It's always a stressful week as it is. You're worried about everything. It'll be nice to go down there and just race and have fun. Whatever happens, happens. We've had a very respectable year. We haven't had a phenomenal year, but we've had a very respectable year, and I guess that's what pays the bills and keeps us going, I guess.
If there's, again, any media members that want to ask questions, we do have a microphone in here. You can step up and ask Billy Whittaker or Matt Sheppard a question. So,
John.
So if you have any questions, feel free to hop in. Art Rory from D2D
now,
is
while we
here.
get him queued up, I got one for you. Long races are always mentally demanding, but it seemed like today especially was physically demanding as well. Did you guys try to be a little more passive early, trying to take care of your stuff, knowing how rough it was? And then, say with 25 left, now it was go time, make or break situation?
I don't know how physically demanding it is when you only run 2 green flag laps at a time.
Well, because I asked that question.
I don't know if it's like going green to checkered at Bridgeport, but I don't know. Here, Bill.
I asked that question because I interviewed Billy, and he was like, oh, man, I'm getting a little old in the tooth, and then I'm talking to you, Matt, and it was like, I'm ready to sit on the couch. So you got a little big age gap there. It's no offense, Billy.
Well, in all fairness, for a long time I just wanted to find the smoothest line right around and not give up too much space. And honestly, I thought the pace picked up on that 167 restart, didn't you? Yeah. At that stage, I thought it was game on. For the most part, respectfully, not all out, but getting right with it. If you had something, you were going to get it at that stage. So we tried our best to keep it down for a long time.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, either one of you, how difficult is it in a race like this when you have a lot of 3, 4, 5 lap runs? How hard is it to get into a rhythm to really get settled in?
How hard is it to get into a rhythm
with the lack of green flag runs in that race?
It was difficult. There's no question about it. I thought we had one stretch there where we were getting into lap traffic. I did think I was getting in a little bit of a rhythm there at that stage, but it's tough. And then the track moves. The holes move around a little bit, believe it or not. They got bigger. Honestly, I didn't mind seeing the cautions. I thought, our best opportunity to finish was the more caution lap. The more we run on 25 miles an hour, the better off we were going to be.
Same question for Matt.
Yeah, I feel like the only time I really got in a rhythm the whole race was that that long green there before the green-white checkered. I kind of fell back really bad after that restart. I don't know if my tires didn't fire. I was pushing and burning and spinning, and guys were pulling up next to me. And then all of a sudden I put a couple of good laps together and got faster and faster and kind of ran Billy down. And I said, man, this thing ain't so bad here. Maybe we'll go and get it. And then, I don't know, the caution come out, and then I felt just as bad as I did after the previous caution, so I don't really know.
Anything else, Ted? Good? You good? Anybody else have any questions here for Billy Whittaker or Matt Sheppard, our second and third place finishers here in the Billy Whittaker Cars and Trucks 200? How happy are you guys to be done with Dirt Week and now take a couple days and just to chill out?
Chill out. I got to rebuild all this stuff before I go to Port Royal. I feel like I don't know. This week might be more work than this coming week might be more work than Oswego was.
I'm going to limp into Quality Hardwoods tomorrow morning and see if I can make some lumber.
Are you going to close
easier.
the office door and take a nap, or what?
Probably. Find someplace to hide tomorrow. It's Matt's day.
So I'll trade you.
Good job, Matt.
So Matty Williamson is joining us. Anybody have any more questions for Billy Decker or Matt Sheppard? If not, we can let those guys kind of go. If nobody else has any questions for them. Anybody have anything else? Yeah, Nick?
I will say one thing.
Oh, go ahead, Billy.
Matt did say earlier today somebody's going to win $50,000. I think he had an inside sight to that. Shithead.
Nick, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me? Got me? All right. Obviously, about a month from now, we'll be heading to Charlotte for World Finals. Now that Super Dirt Week's out of the way, how do you guys think about that, going to championship weekend and start planning for that now?
Talking about the championship
World Finals,
stage in
yep.
Charlotte?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely way more relaxing when you can go down there and all you got to do is limp the thing out onto the racetrack. I'm getting old, though. Yeah.
By 2:30.
You know, the series was so bizarre this year. In the beginning of the series, I don't think anybody wanted to finish up front other than Stewie. I don't know if I ever went that long before without even a top 5 finish, and then we knocked off a couple wins and, you know, kind of picked up some momentum. Got back on track a little bit here. It seems like, you know, we've been pretty decent. We're still not always where we need to be. These cars will definitely throw you a curveball every night. You know, I think Money Matt over there will tell you he had a pretty miserable summer, and then all of a sudden, you know, here he is winning everything again. So, you know, all in all, it's been a really good year for us. Not a fantastic or great year, but a really, really good year, solid year. Looking forward to that, trying to wrap up that 8th championship. You know, anytime you can beat any record that Brett Hearn has, you know, that's something to be proud of.
And we got Billy Decker asking Matt Williamson if he's going to buy a new sled this winter. I think he can buy about 5 at this point.
He's got his eye on something. You see the way he's been scooping them wins.
Real estate market in Canada is stupid.
Well, anybody else have any questions for Billy Decker and Matt Sheppard before we let them guys go? If nobody has anything, we're going to let those. We're going to let yes, or we're going to let them go. Thank you, guys.
Billy,
Thank you.
Billy, he's got a girlfriend who's expecting at least a little bit of that paycheck after the fact.
I gotta go put a shed together tomorrow.
Going shopping.
Going shopping.
Stop it. Stop it.
You know she's already spending that money,
Hey,
and I just lost my microphone. That was good. But
I straight up told her, I says, I bought her a new snowmobile. And I said, I got that snowmobile. It's either an engagement ring or a snowmobile. What do you want? She said snowmobile, so
what's
that's how
that
I know
tell
I
you
gotta
about
keep her.
yourself?
Oh,
Well, no, that's how I know I got to keep her.
Okay, all right.
now did she now after the week you had, is she expecting both?
Well, that is
I
really.
don't ever-
He would
I-
rather
you-
answer questions about racing than that
did
question
not
right
say
What
now.
would any girl in the
Face
world
this
do? I mean, you guys know.
I do not. I'm smarter than that.
Shit. It's
Matty?
last 3 months' salary, but this month's not over. So
Yeah,
just the
that's
last
a bad
month's-
idea. I would use the December salary.
Yeah, no, August, July, and June.
Well, hey, first off, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Great
I
job.
love coming here after the race.
Yeah,
It's
you
awesome.
love it, right? Well, because we give you free beer. Let's be
Well,
fair.
that-
That's why you like coming here. But
We told him we keep it cold.
yeah, right.
Yeah, the beer I had in Victory Lane wasn't cold, so I was like, I
Yeah,
can't
we're
wait to get
good.
the
Yeah,
DTD.
I know. But 2 in a row, man. Incredible week. A week ago, you're standing in Outlaw 200 Victory Lane. Now, a week and a day later, you're here, Super Dirt Week, back-to-back champion. That's a pretty awesome
How does that sound?
8 days.
I'll be honest, I forgot about the Outlaw. It's very humbling. I grew up watching my heroes win this race. Billy and Matt, them guys have won this race a ton of times, and to win it twice, it just goes to show the first one wasn't just by chance. So we'll take it and embrace it tonight, and then move on to Port Royal for next week.
You gonna celebrate a little bit? You know, we're not gonna have one of those nights I talked to you at Brewerton, like we're on to the next.
I just told my dad.
Can you have a day today? Are you going to at least take a day?
You've been laser focused, locked in all week. Can you now breathe knowing that it's over?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Jeff and Ryan just left. Jeff Barrett and Ryan Barrett, they just left. Jeff's going to go to work tomorrow, so he wanted to drive home. But Wednesday we're going to go. Jeff's got an Airbnb that is right close to Port Royal with a pool table and a pool and a hot tub and everything. So it's going to be kind of a celebratory Wednesday. We'll do a dinner and whatnot. But tonight we're going to enjoy it. I really got to thank all my guys. They built a buggy that I knew could withstand them holes and survive 200 laps. Integra shocks. Last night, me and Little Brian had talked, and I think that I have good input from a driver to tell them what I think I need. And Little Brian said something that I probably wouldn't have told him that we needed to change, and obviously it worked today. So all them guys, Kaiser Manufacturing and Integra, I really got to thank them. They worked hard all week. Billy the Kid, Becknell Racing Products, Barron's Performance Plus, VP Racing Oils, and obviously Buzz 2 Chevrolet, North Country Market, Wentz Propane, all the guys that worked hard all week for us to be able to sit in a position like this.
Let's go through today's race. Early on, it took some time to get going. Obviously, track conditions played into that. Just blowing it off. Like it seemed like the track just needed that blow-off period where you get the dust off, the loose stuff on top, and you get going. And then it just everybody settled in. It looked like nobody really wanted to go right out of the gate. It's like, hey, let's get in line. And you could tell the experienced guys that were up front all knew better. Like, hey, okay, let's not be stupid here. Let's just go. Was that kind of the mentality that you were, went out there with? Well, let's find the smoothest line we can, and we're just going to kind of hang.
Yeah. Pat Ward was starting ahead of me, and I talked to Pat before the green flag, and I said, Pat, I'm just going to ride. And then, of course, when the green flag comes out, I go to the bottom through the holes, and I feel like I'm a car and a half better than the guys on the outside. So I probably looked like a dipshit running through the holes. Like, now this young kid's hitting the holes. Like, here he goes. He said he was just going to ride. But, no, we just had to stay up towards the front, keep the nose clean, not hit anybody, and persevere. Jeremy Corcoran, I got to really give a shout out to him. The racetrack wasn't on optimum tonight. He would agree with that, and everybody would agree with that. But that guy worked really hard all week to try and make sure we had something to race on, and I got to thank him for that because I don't think this event probably would have happened without that guy. So him, the drivers' meeting earlier today, I don't know if anybody heard, but there was talk about making it show points, canceling the race, and unfortunately, if they make it show points, everybody drops out. It's a 5-car race because there's 5 cars that would stay out there and try and win 50 grand, and that's not good for the fans. So I was one of the ones against the probably 10 others that didn't want to race for points today, and in the end, the racetrack really wasn't all that bad. It wasn't as bad as the first year. We weren't hitting holes and bouncing the nose too bad. There was smooth spots out there that were just as fast as the bumps. Unfortunately, we got her done.
I talked to Billy and Matt prior to you getting here. Seemed like early on everybody wanted to avoid. I sat down in one, and everybody wanted to avoid that hole that was developing there. But then late in the race, you guys just didn't give a crap. I mean, right through the middle of it, launching the nose up off of it. Why that line and not staying up in that middle where you were kind of moving around it?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. There was a point where Stewart had hit that hole in front of me, and he spun out.
Right,
and
right.
He actually bicycled and then started spinning out, and luckily Stewart stuck on the brakes and held the car in the middle. I got around him, but it was treacherous. I think that the changes we made with Integra, I could hit that hole and it wouldn't upset the car.
Okay.
Them guys made all the right changes on the nose of the car, and we could hit that, and it didn't really throw me for a loop. So it was weird how the race moved around. The bottom seemed to be fast when Tyler was going through there at the beginning. He was passing a car a lap down in 3-4 on the very bottom, and his car looked actually pretty good. It wasn't rocking around, and I'd try it, and if you hit the whole 1 inch to the left or right, it would really upset the car. So weird how it played out. It's just typical dirt week, Syracuse, Oswego deal.
Yeah.
When sitting there in third, laps are ticking down, when in your mind mentally was it like, okay, I need to either make some moves here, I'm going to be stuck at the last step of the podium?
I mean, I knew that
Did it
Peter
ever
had
get to that
pitted.
point?
So the 21 car hadn't pitted. I was going to be close on fuel. I don't know how much we finished with. Tyler should have probably just rode at that point because he was ahead of me, and I thought that we were racing each other for the win because of what Peter chose for pit strategy. Obviously, it might have played out. He might have made it on fuel, but when that deal happened in turn 4, and I got clear of it and didn't get collected, I was like, oh, that makes things a little bit easier. So I don't know if we would have got by them guys, but it's the way these 200 lappers play out. You can't just get impatient, and you got to just ride a little bit.
Lap 65, why did you guys choose the strategy you went with today? You know, we saw Billy and Matt pitted early, like 30, 35, 40, somewhere in there.
Really?
You guys waited till 65. What was the thought there? That just where you felt comfortable on fuel, or what was
When
it?
we pitted, it was earlier than what our strategy was. We were going to go 70 to 80, and then if the caution didn't come out, we would have to figure something out, make it last or whatever. But Anthony did tires, and they made it for 200 laps at Oswego. Got to thank him. We didn't ever think that we were going to have to change tires for a strategy, but I don't know how much fuel we finished with, but it's probably pretty close. That's why I was running around under yellow on the very bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah.
It was rougher down there, but it was shorter.
Right.
So in my eyes, I was saving fuel every lap under yellow, and there was a lot of them. Fortunately, we finished with enough fuel to finish.
We'll give you a second
See the
to
smile
breathe
on my
here.
face
Yeah,
there
I
when that
know.
thing showed up?
He rolled it over a second ago, but I knew you didn't see it, so I wanted to make sure you got another one in there. I didn't want to, I'll let you go ahead, take a drink.
It's
You've been
getting
talking
parched.
a lot. Yeah, you're parched. I know. It's been a long week of behaving yourself.
We also asked
Late
Billy
nights.
and Matt how long races mentally are difficult, but physically as well. And you heard a tale of two drivers. Matt didn't think it was a big deal. Billy, a little older in the tooth, thought it was a huge deal. Can't wait to get in the bark lounger.
That's Billy.
How did you feel? How do you feel physically?
Billy's like the hardest working guy out there. He will go to work tomorrow and probably sling lumber around or do whatever he has to do to make sure shit happens at Quality Hardwood. So it was a little bit physically demanding, more head than body. Your body's trapped in, it don't bounce around too much. Your head is bouncing between the headrests. Fortunately, Kirky Seats builds a very safe seat that I feel like I didn't get concussion too bad. But yeah, these cars, rocking around is fast. Soft right side springs is fast. Left rear energy is fast. Left rear droop is fast. It's just the way these cars are. They're hard to drive and they're fast.
Yeah. We got a question over here.
Take that.
Matt, Stuart Friesen won last night. You've won everything else at Dirt Week. You didn't have your countrymen down here from Canada. What is it like to represent Canada in such a huge way when they couldn't be here and put on a show for them at home on Dirt Vision?
Yeah, it's huge. I said in Victory Lane, we miss everybody from Canada. I feel like there is less campers here than there normally is. The grandstand looked like they were busy, but I would say that there's a big chunk of people missing here, and it doesn't feel complete. My close family and friends, my girlfriend, my mom, everybody that would have been here if it was the border was open and we were back to normal, I miss them. I miss the fans. I miss the people that come over and say, hey, we're from Niagara Falls or we're from Chatham or somewhere close to me. And this is their first Dirt Week. That's awesome. That's a cool thing to feel as a Canadian. But just happy that we got to race this year. It's back to normal. I seen that the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Jays can go back to 100% capacity. I feel like we're making steps in the right direction. Things are super safe here in the pit area. A lot of hand sanitizing stations. People are wearing their masks when they feel like they're not in the right spot. And going forward, I feel like we can get back to normal next year and have some Canadians here.
Any other questions from out in the? Yeah, Nick. Yeah, do the same thing next week and hear you.
Okay. Before Super Dirt Week, we talked a little bit. You talked about how there's some pressure coming in, being the defending champion, and you weren't sure how you're going to deal with it. So how did you?
I don't know. The holes kind of took the pressure off because it was kind of a crapshoot there during the race. We didn't know who was going to survive, who was going to last, and who would be there at the end. But we did the same thing as last year. We pitted around the same time, maybe a little earlier. Nailed our pit stop. Didn't take tires this year. We took 10 tires last year. And then just it ended up cycling through that we were in the lead and had to lead the later stages of the race. So I'll take it. 8 gallons of fuel.
So too much.
That's a lot of fuel. I mean, Mongo's sitting there right there.
Yeah.
That big guy. He'll wear that fire suit all night.
Oh, you can give him another one.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Mongo will wear the. Can we get a video of Mongo? Mongo, come over here.
Hey, it's your show, man. It's your world. We're just living in it.
Sit
as
down.
I
I
said the
just
last
want to
time.
show. I want to show the fire suit. Mongo nails the fuel every year. He'll wear that fire suit all night.
Hey, now GT told a funny story about the first time that. Hey, the first time you saw the name on there, what did you say to him when you saw the name on the sleeve?
Oh, that's your real name, he said. Mention that.
Come on, I didn't.
He didn't even know.
Love this guy.
It's my driver. It's all good.
You're not.
Thanks,
You
Mongo.
can't live that one down like that. That's just too hard to live down. I'm sorry. GT. That's like GT's favorite story that you didn't know Mongo's real name.
Well, yeah.
That's okay. I did it at the spot too. Like they're talking about.
I
the
didn't know
state ring.
Spot's
I'm
real
like,
name for a long time either. And me and him drank beers that many a times I stayed at his house.
All right, so we're on the same page.
Yeah, if people go by nicknames, you just let it ride.
Yeah.
Right?
People are just bad with names.
Yeah, and I'm horrible with names, but I love those guys. They're family to me now, and we've made a lot of good memories together, and I just can't wait to see what the future holds. We got some more races to win with Buzz.
All right, we got another question over here.
Hey Matt,
Right there.
you were talking about it with Bill Foley out there. What's it mean for your dad missed a couple of your big wins here last year. It must mean some a little more for you to have him here with you this week.
Absolutely. I mean, Dad missed Outlaw 200, Port Royal 200, Eastern States 200, Centennial. He's missed a lot of races, work, family, border. There's been a lot of circumstances that kept him at home, so I'm happy he was here for this one.
Every big race lately. Is there anything left on your list that you're thinking?
I know what it is.
I
There's
need
two
to
of
win that one.
I know the Fonda 200 is one of them.
Well, that's when Stewart retires. When Stewart retires, hopefully we'll be fast enough to win there. But the Salute to the Troops 150 is going to be the next one that we have to win because I've ran second in it twice now, and Billy's won it a ton. Stewart's won it a ton. Matt's won. Well, Stewart only won it last night. That was his first one, which I was
Last
very
night,
surprised with that stat.
Yeah, well, all of us were. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
So there's still stuff left on your list. You're not
yeah.
you're not done.
No, we do. I like these big races, but we're going to stick racing modifieds for a long time. Hopefully we can click a few more off.
Question out there?
Hey Matt, so going into tonight's 200, we kind of knew what the track was going to be like. How does it change your preparation for the race, knowing that not only do you need to make the car 200 laps, but you need to make it on that surface?
What was the question?
Preparation. How did it change as the track conditions?
This morning I got here early. I actually lobbied for Dirt Motorsports to make the drivers' meeting at 6:30 in the morning. That way we could be here for like 18 hours on Sunday. I was too. No, we had a lot of time to prepare. I cut up some pieces of steel that Spot had for lead weights, welded them in the left side panhard bar, just supported everything we could on that race car. Like I said earlier, Integra shocks, we had changed everything over to make sure that stuff had survived, because last night I felt like we had a good car. We bent the right rear shaft and got tight in the center. So we learned a lot about last night and transferred it to tonight, and fortunately we survived. And like I said earlier about the drivers' meeting, there was people that didn't want to race, and there was a lot of fans here that would have been upset about that. So I'm glad we did, and it ended up being an okay show. Obviously, a lot of caution laps, but there was a lot of cars that finished the race that didn't happen back in the first year here, 2016. So it goes to show you the cars are getting built better. They're stronger, and they can withstand the stuff.
Man of the people.
Yeah, I see Case waiting for you. As soon as you're done here,
That guy.
yeah, he's gonna get you. He's gonna get you.
He asked me a tricky one today about what my favorite porn site was.
You might want to drink another couple of those before you head to that interview, Matt.
Anybody else in the?
No, that's bad mix. You cannot mix beer and gasket case. That's what happened last year.
Yeah, he's ready to party over there. He's on 3. He's good. He's good.
This was Shepard's.
Hey, we got a 4 beer minimum on this show.
I like hanging out with you guys. This is not.
And they're
this
cold.
This
This is no Victory Lane warm beer here.
Yeah.
You guys do it right.
Yeah.
I said on the my radio there with when we were running around under yellow, that last yellow, I said make sure we got 2 beers in Victory Lane, and I'm like I'm gonna jinx it, but at the same time I want a Stone Cold Steve Austin some beers, and
I was disappointed you didn't try the beer smash.
I did have Fulton, failed miserably. You got to shake them together. Shake them up and then smash them together. I didn't know that, or open them. There's a couple theories. And then we won some races since then. I had Stone Cold Steve Austin some beers.
Maybe that's what kicked it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody else got any questions for Matt Williamson? Decker wants you. Oh boy. Oh.
Can I stay here longer?
Yeah, you can stay here as long as you want. You can just stay here and do the recap with us.
How many more beers you got? All right, let's do the recap.
He's ready to do the recap.
Let's do the recap. So Billy Whittaker finished second. Matt Sheppard finished third. Fourth, we had Stuart Friesen and Larry White.
Yeah, we have. That's good. I worked for ESS. I speak French Canadian, so I'm fine. But Matty, what an incredible week. If there is no beer left in that when this is done for me, I am going to be severe.
I still got a lot.
You're still good?
Yeah, I got 3/4.
Okay, all right. I'm going to do this. All right.
Matt needs another one.
No,
I'm good.
He's good.
I got 3/4. You need one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there in a minute here.
You guys are trying to be professional.
It's over now. This interview has pretty much ruined that. So
Yeah.
We always have fun.
yeah,
here.
right. And again,
All right.
Your producer's shaking his head over there. He's pissed.
well, Matt's mad because he's drinking Gatorade, but. But all in all, man, what a week. I mean, what a week. If I talked to you in July and you said, oh, by the way, you're going to win the Outlaw Super Dirt Week, everything during the week except for one race, you would have been like, no, what would you have said to me?
No way.
No way.
Especially in July.
Yeah.
The Outlaw was a big one. Anytime you win your first on these deals is pretty cool. You've seen races at Fulton all year. Fulton is an incredible facility that races so good, and you got to be good to win that race. It's not just luck that falls into place. Timmer was really good, and we got a caution that was lucky for us to get on his bumper, but that race is hard to win.
You got a race in that race with the draw too, and
yes.
in your fashion that week, your heat race was pretty loaded there. You had to come. There was no starting up front because
it's tough, like you said, the draw, which makes it unique and good for the fans. But I thought this year kind of stunk because they didn't do hot laps, so the track was a little bit hammered down for the first 2 or 3 heats. Made it tough for our small block, but hell of a race in the feature. We went from 34th to 2nd or 3rd there. Jamie went from 40th to the lead. The racing's been so good lately that I think the dirt modifieds are headed in the right direction. There's a lot of good cars out there. There's a lot of cars that are in contention. I think that Brett Deo's Short Track Super Series deal, he had 13 or 14 different winners in 14 different races. That's unheard of. Besides Stewart stinking up the Super Dirt Series for a little while there in the middle of summer, they've had a lot of different winners too. So Matt hasn't won his typical 10 races, and we haven't won more than 3 now, but there's been a variety of people who've won races, and the modified racing right now I think it's headed in the right direction.
Well, I guess I've saved you as long as I can because I think he's going to revolt over here if I don't let you go. But
he's getting old. He might fall asleep.
Well, hey, I got to say this, man. Congratulations, brother. Hell of a week, hell of a job. Hell of a job, man.
Thank you very much, guys.
We appreciate you coming over here and sitting with us and chatting with us. Enjoy your night. You know what? Have as much, don't have too much fun, but just hell with it. Have as much fun as you want.
Hey, Matt.
Well, that's good. He's going to wake up with his pants on. That's a bonus.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
And by the way, good luck with that when you get home. I don't think you're going to get away with just the sled. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get away with just the sled. Just saying.
See you, buddy. So there he goes. There is Matty Williamson, the winner of the
almost the entire week. Let's be honest.
It's just easier to say the winner of everything.
Yeah.
You know, the winner of everything. You know, so Matt Williamson getting it done here this afternoon, and we thank him for taking time. We thank all the guys for taking time to stay here with us and to chat with us here this evening. And you know, now let's take a look back. You know, we kind of started the recap, did a little bit of a recap, but we got some highlights for you here, courtesy of our friends at Dirt Vision. And we'll take you through here the Billy Whittaker Cars 200 here for the Super Dirt Car Series. And again, Matt's ready to go over there. I have no idea.
Yes, I did.
So it was Peter Britton and Jimmy Phelps bringing us to green here for this event. Again, as we mentioned, a little dusty at the beginning of the event. You know, just had to
get the top off.
Well, you had to blow the surface off again, just like it used to be at Syracuse. You know, the first lap, guys had to, we had to take care of that.
And they were patient enough.
Yeah.
To allow that to happen.
Yep, and again, that's the key. You know, everybody has got to know there in those first couple of laps, just let it play out, see what happens. Let's get through lap number 1 and go from there. And again, it was Peter Britton jumping out to the lead. And I'll tell you, throughout this race, Peter Britton had a great car. So here you can see Matty Williamson heading down pit road here, 158 laps to go, so about lap 42. Hitting pit road here, Timmer there with him, Tim Sears Jr. And that guy, man, he cannot catch a break this week. He could not catch a break here in this main event. But this is the stop that changes it for him. Again, no tires, just taking fuel and electing to go down that route.
Yeah, splash and go. That's all he took.
Yeah, just a splash and go. That was all was necessary. And again, what they tell me, he had 8 gallons left.
Eight gallons left.
Yeah. So other drivers, obviously, they're hitting pit road at that point as well. And then from there, it was a race back to the front because, again, these guys are mid-pack. Matt Sheppard, he talked about this during his interview. They went to work on that left side multiple times. They were up underneath that car, changing tons of things in that left rear throughout that race.
Well, he said it. He was willing to come down pit road as many times as he needed to make the adjustments. And we talked about Tim Sears Jr. being snake bit, and you see it right there as having a problem there on the right rear of that 83X machine. It was just an uphill battle for him from there on out.
And that seemed to be the common theme that we saw for cautions today, shocks.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of shocks, a lot of guys.
A lot of bananas out there.
Yeah, right.
Sure. We got minimal tire wear, but a lot of shocks.
Yeah, shock damage was basically the culprit for most of our yellows. Unlike Friday night, we didn't really see any of the big hard crashes or anything of that nature. It's just, again, part failures here, and again, the design of the race cars now, what they're running in the rear ends of these cars. If you just hit a hole wrong, or if you just missed your mark a little bit, this is the byproduct of that.
Displacement, along with the fact that you're trying to run lightweight parts on a rough environment, you'll get that situation.
So there's Jimmy Phelps. Jimmy Phelps is running in the number 2 spot at this part of the race, brings out a caution, left front flat for Jimmy Phelps. And Jimmy had a good car. I was listening to his crew talking all day long. They were spot on their what they were thinking and what they were going to do. This kind of forced their hand into a situation they really didn't want to be in. They weren't sure if they were going to change tires, do any of those other things. Once they
were thinking maybe fuel only at this point, and this exactly forced their hand. They had no choice but to go and change, I think, both front tires on that 98H. And who knows if those Hoosiers stay inflated, maybe he's talking to us here.
Yeah, right. And again, you gotta feel bad for Jimmy Phelps there. But now we go back to green here. Again, it's Peter Britton and Tyler Dipple. What a charge he put on. And at this point in the race,
this is when Friesen spins it there in turn 1. He just got a little too gutsy into the ruts there.
Went a little bit too hard into the rut and got around. And again, we'll get back to the Dipple Britton thing here in a moment. But so Friesen goes around there. Now he's going to pit. He had already pitted prior to this, and now.
And I think Friesen went to the bottom there because he saw Dipple a couple laps before that try it and make it work to get by Friesen. So he's like, I think I'm going to try that.
And here's the move that changes the entire race. Peter Britton and Tyler Dipple battling for the top spot. Dipple gets a great run there.
Hip check.
Big contact there between Dipple and Britton. Britton ends up in the wall. He's actually able to continue on. Matt Williamson sneaks by him, and now going up into turns 1 and 2, Dipple breaks the right rear on the shock. Caution comes out, and you see that Britton actually passes him back, but it would have been all for naught because Britton had him front tire.
Can opener there in the right rear as well. And you saw Williamson, great accident avoidance there, because not only did he have to worry about Britton coming off the wall in 4, Dipple also went way up the racetrack in turn 1, so he kind of had to cross under him as well. And that's when Money Matt inherits the lead.
So here we go.
The battle with 10 to go.
Yeah, 10 to go. Here's Matt Sheppard and Billy Decker. You know, these guys both talked about it. This is where Sheppard didn't want to see a caution because he was starting to make tracks and starting to gain on Billy Decker. And this is one of the few times in this race they had caught the tail end of the field and got into lap traffic. And Sheppard was he was making a go of it. He was making a run. And again, trying to challenge Decker. And you saw Sheppard here do something you hadn't really seen him do a lot. And that's right here. Right to the bottom. And screw it, I'm going through the holes. I'm going for it. Whatever happens, happens.
Yep.
I'm going for the extra coin here to finish second. I'm going to have to go through the car anyways.
Right. This is either I'm going for broke here, or I'm going to ride around and finish where we're running right now. So he threw all caution to the wind with 10 to go, and it was go time.
Yeah, and again, here we go. Now we're going to have a green-white checkered to set it up here at the end. And I believe the last caution, was that for Tim Sears as he ran out of fuel?
Yeah, he ran out of fuel and couldn't get it going there in the pit area either. It wouldn't turn over for him.
So green-white checkered coming up here. Matt Williamson with Billy Decker. And again, Matt Sheppard. And you know, Sheppard mentioned it. And there again, you have Tyler Dipple. And Dipple, again, had gone to the pits and then driven back up through.
On the bottom.
On the bottom. And again, we talk about Sheppard going for it. Tyler Dipple was throwing it in there. No regard for whatever happened. He did not care.
You saw that from like lap 25 on. Dipple on the bottom, and it didn't matter where or how that car was going to come back to the trail. He was going for it. And with 2 to go, I thought Money Matt might have had a little bit of pressure between Decker and Sheppard the way they had been running a couple laps before. But Matt said, nope, green go stick, and he was gone.
Yeah, and Matt Williamson again here works the backstretch for that final time, and again for $50,000 here this afternoon. And no pressure. They're not there. Nobody had anything for this 88 here today. You know, maybe if things didn't play out with Britton and Dipple, maybe things changed. But when the money mattered, Money Matt was able to get the job done. And when his second consecutive Billy Whittaker Cars and Trucks 200 over Billy Decker, again, Matt Sheppard. Stuart Friesen, again, rebounded from that spin.
To come back through the field.
Came back through the field. And there you can see Matt Williamson, and there's Mongo right there in the right in the middle in the fire suit, celebrating with Matt Williamson as he gets it done here at the Oswego Speedway.
2 in a row.
2 in a row. 2 in a row for Matt Williamson, and that's it, man. I mean, that wraps it up. That's so who was it? Guler and Rocky Warner, rookies, 2 rookies finishing. This is from Ken Bruce over on the side here.
Inside the top 10.
Both inside the top 10. It was a weird race, again, because at the beginning of the race, we saw some guys that weren't running for points, that weren't in the mix on the series, that just said, I'm not going to,
had enough.
I'm going to call it a day. And again, no, we understand that decision too. You know, I get that.
Talked to a couple of them post-race. They put a lot of money and effort into those race cars. Right. They didn't want to put one in the bin if they didn't have to.
Yep.
Well, I got to touch the subject with you between Dipple and Britton. What was your perspective on it? Do you think Britton got the win taken away from him there?
I don't know, because here's the thing with that situation is Britton had not pitted.
Yeah.
So you don't know did he have enough fuel? You know, we saw Jimmy Phelps try to go 200 without fuel in the past. So is it different? You know, we were counting caution laps. Ed Bidding, senior from Dirt Track Digest, was counting caution laps. And the caution laps, it wasn't as many as you thought it was. You know what I mean? It wasn't like
you weren't burning through them.
No, it wasn't like 100. It was 60-ish, 65-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Right.
Which I'm sitting there thinking it was more, but he's legit writing down how many caution laps there were, and it never really got.
And Williamson finished with what, 8?
Yeah.
And he had a splash and go.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Maybe he makes it. I don't know.
Maybe.
And we kind of lost that opportunity to see, you know, and the circumstances there, you know, again.
And Peter, two nights in a row.
2 nights in a row.
358 race, was involved in the very first accident, not of his doing, and then leading a big chunk of the race only to get it taken away from him.
Yep. So let's see our picks today. let's get these out.
I have them.
Kenny's over here, so we're gonna have
Ken
Adam.
is
We'll
over
wrap
here.
this up with our picks. Kenny, you can hop in, buddy, if you want to hop in here.
Kenny Bruce for the.
Let's go to
we'll,
the. We'll
we'll
start,
with
with
the pro
stock.
stocks.
What'd you have?
Kenny Bruce had Josh Coonrad.
Okay, who would you have?
Well, no, Mike, you went with Cousin Luke.
And I
who
totally
was there
screwed
early.
Cousin Luke.
Who
I
was
will
there?
own it. I screwed him because he got.
Was there early, but
Yeah, I screwed
my
him.
pick, Chad Jessio. Ding, 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 ding.
Well, that might not
Or-
be right.
That might
Or
not
is
be,
he?
yeah, right. That might not be the case. The car still sits out there on pit road. There was some questions in tech post race, so we're going to wait before that's official. I don't know. I don't have all the details. I wasn't privy to the conversations, what went on down there. I know, but there's something with the clip on the front of the car, and that's what they're debating and discussing right now. So I know there's going to be more tech done on it. So at this point, I don't know if we're official, not
It
official.
didn't fit the template here.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's
right. That's the question of whether or not that will work out. So we'll see on that one. That one is not up to me.
official.
I'm not the tech guy. Thank God.
Thank goodness.
So,
Yes, thank goodness.
For the
Okay.
Dirt Car Sportsman, Kenny picked AJ Piotrowski.
Nope. Nope.
I picked Brian Calabrese. Finished third.
Almost.
Matt Janzik for you.
Yep.
Almost.
Got
Yes.
second. And again, what a drive in that race. Zach
Yeah.
Sabatka, 19th.
He was the first car to try to the top
and make it work.
Yep. And Connor Cleveland would have been there with him if he didn't have a mishap, because he was coming too. Connor Cleveland was on the move and making tracks there too. All right, let's go to this one, because I came up
Big
just short
block
in this one.
modifieds. We had sleepers and who we thought was going to win
Who's
the
the
race.
sleeper pick? Let's go with the
So
sleeper picks
sleeper
first.
pick for Ken was Parego. Whew, awful day for
Bad
Parego.
night.
Man,
Multiple shocks.
Yeah, you did
and,
not do
I
him
think
any
you'll see
justice.
that on the Dirt Track Digest post-race clips we got going on here. We got great shots of Parego shocks. They're literally bent in half.
Yeah,
it is bad.
they must have been doing something funky with their rears that are different, because he had the same issue.
Super soft.
Yeah, he went
something
through like 2 or 3 shots,
yeah,
I think.
and they did have the same issue last night.
Yeah.
So there was something a little weird with what.
So
what they're
your
doing.
dark horse did not work out for you. Mike had Mike Maresca. That looked good until it didn't look good.
You know, where did he end up?
finished up there, didn't
he
he?
finished 20th, so something must have happened on the
he
last
must
lap.
have
He also
Oh, he got
had
the
some
flat tire.
flat tire
late.
issues.
Yep. He was up to the top 5. Yeah, and then he got the flat tire, left front flat.
My sleeper pick was Chris Heil. Again, that looked good until it didn't. He had a mechanical
So
failure in the rear
I
end.
won that one at least. I won
So
the
you
sleeper
got that
pick.
one.
That's nothing to be proud of.
And
but-
then our wins, our winner picks. Ken picked Jimmy Phelps.
Well, it wasn't a bad pick.
No,
right?
it wasn't
you know,
bad.
until the flat tire.
Right, flat tire him, so.
Yep.
I picked Stu, who looked good until he spun.
Yep.
Came back through the field, but
Back.
just ran out of time. And then Mike picked Money Matt.
Champ is here. The champ is
I
here.
think we both still
Sorry,
had a winner,
cousin
though.
Luke. My other 2 won. Actually, 3 out of 4.
Yeah, you
didn't
had a
know.
good week, which is very
I'm-
usually for you, because you usually
modifieds,
are,
man.
you're
Wait a
usually
minute,
the
where
kiss
are you
of
getting
death.
3 out of 4?
I won the
one,
sleeper
you
picks
had
too,
one.
right? The sleeper picks I won too. I won the
Okay.
sportsman, the sleeper pick, and the race.
He's just going by highest finisher.
Right.
Yeah, highest finisher, buddy. That's what counts
Yeah.
here. This is bragging rights. That's all that matters. Come on. All right. Hey, get Kenny one of these, because we're gonna wrap it up with this.
And
Course.
this is, I know this is the post-race wrap-up, but this does not end our coverage. There's going to be tons of articles, post-race articles on DirtTrackDigest.com.
Oh, lot
There's
happening.
going to be winners interviews, and let me tell you, my Money Matt Williamson interview immediately after post-race is definitely a fun one to watch. He let loose a little bit with some cold ones, so that'll be a great interview. I'm sure we'll see that on the YouTube and
channel.
Facebook pages as well.
Okay,
That's always a good interview.
It's a great interview. So here's how I want to wrap this one up. First off, I want to say, if you have a beer at home, if you're watching with us, if you're watching out there on the Jumbotron, if you're here with us, I want to say cheers to all the great race fans out there. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for following along on DirtTrackDigest.com all week long. This is always the best week of our year, and we appreciate all your support and all that you guys do for us. You know, we couldn't be who we are without the great race fans that check us out each and every day. Secondly, I want to say cheers to all the guys, all the staff here at DirtTrackDigest.com.
The
These guys
unsung heroes.
worked their butts off this week, pounding the pits, getting the stories, getting everything they can get, and doing all these different things. You can see there our production crew. That's the guys that behind the scenes here on Dirt Track Digest TV that help make this all happen. You know, this is 2 hours of sleep last night. Kenny, you're not supposed to drink till I'm done. Cheers.
sorry.
Don't take this guy to a wedding. Jeez. I'm thirsty too, man. It's been all week. No, I'm not. I'm lying. But but cheers to all those guys again, and thank you again to the folks at Dirt Vision for the highlights. We appreciate their support. Again, they did a heck of a job helping us out, making sure we had a place to do this. And again, thank you to our staff. Thank you to the race fans. Thank you for everybody here from Dirt Motorsports. And hey, man, it was a great week, gentlemen. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Can't wait to do it again next year.
Yeah.
Here's to another Dirt Week in the books. And until next year, for Adam Buchanan, for Ken Bruce, for all of us at DirtTrackDigest.com, my name is Mike Mallett. And we'll see you down the road.
Cheers.